Welcome to the 1-0 podcast. It's your boy Dom Skeen out here with my esteemed co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the voice of the Teal Sleeve Boys, Dontay Reynolds. How we feeling?
Feeling good, brother. Another day, another chance to go 1-0. How you doing?
Doing well. We're gonna talk. We got a lot to talk about. Make sure that we learn the right lessons from Cal's slump. Got our plays of the
Facts.
week. Got a whole lot of prospect call-ups around the MLB. But man, we're talking just first off about you know, does this jersey remind you guys of the Rainiers? You got to let us know in the comments below.
Man, yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear what they say. Let's hear what they say, man. Because it definitely
Yeah,
reminds me. Definitely reminds me.
the JP basketball joint.
Yeah. Is
But
there
yeah,
something on the back or is it just his number?
yeah. No, it's got Crawford 3. It's got like
Oh, yeah, it's rocking. Oh, it's strong.
yeah, and
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's
got
strong.
like the roof, like the
Yep.
design of the
Yep.
roof. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt. Clean giveaway. Clean giveaway.
Oh yeah. No, and I remember this is another random thing to start off with, but they used to sell like jerseys with this lettering. I swear, like I had a shirt, like an Ichiro shirt with this lettering when I was
Hmm.
like 3. But
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
maybe at like
Some type of
Macy's or
alternate fonts. Yeah.
yeah, like they had some. I don't even know, but
Nah, I feel you.
it does feel like a little bit of like a blast from the past, from the the
I
AAA. You
think
said
anything, yeah, AAA to me, it does feel like a Rainier vibe, and just the cursive of it. I think it just gives it that throwback because it's a crazy cursive that it's doing. So
yeah. And do you say
yeah,
AAA doesn't get started for a bit out there or something?
yeah, the Ballers. So it's the Oakland Ballers that I'm gonna go
Oh,
check out.
are they like
They,
independent? Are
I'm
they?
not sure if they're
I'm pretty sure
independent. I think
they're
they're.
independent league, aren't they?
Oh, word. I don't know. I know they play. I know they play a bunch of teams over here, and they'll play like Long Beach. Long Beach just got them a team. Um, I forget what the Long Beach team is even called, but yeah, they're huge over here. Though, like the community is fired up, but they start pretty soon. Which I was like, wow, they start so much later. You know what I mean? Than like the Rainiers. Back home, like Rainiers been balling by now. Like got mad games played, so it's like it's different.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's yeah, the independent league because they started up right or they've been around a little bit, right? However, they like
Oh
got
yeah.
they got a little bigger because of the the A's leaving for Sacramento.
Mm,
Um,
makes sense.
which is actually shout out to my little sister. She's moving to Oakland pretty soon, so I might have to
Oh
have her
word.
come out to a Ballers game at some point.
Oh, that's for sure, bro. Yeah, let me know. I'll be like, what up? Yeah, no, it should be dope. I went and I think I showed photos of me taking with some college guys and high school guys that played recently there, and I was just walking around and the game was going on. So yeah, I was like, oh man, when does it start up? And they're like, oh, not for a couple months. I was like, wow, that's pretty late. But yeah, excited about it, man. The community loves it over here.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody from the Ballers just made their MLB debut. Tyler Davis. Let's
Oh
see.
wow, okay, hey, congrats to the kid.
Oh yeah, with the White Sox.
Okay, word.
Did he play
He
against the
just played
Mariners?
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
dude.
must. He had to. That was the
Let's see.
last series.
Man, we're yeah. Tyler Davis.
Okay.
You're
Okay, we're
an
diving
Oakland
in. Let's
baller
go.
playing against the Seattle Mariners. I
Okay.
mean,
Hey, making moves, man. And the
what's going
Ballers were
on here?
champions of their league. I think 2 times in a row now, but definitely last year. So, and Ballers is balling.
Let's see. Did he? Yeah, he got in against the Mariners on the 8th.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
what was that? Friday. Oh, Friday's game because we scored 12 runs, put up the season high in runs.
Right. Yeah, we
He
did.
managed
We were working.
he
We were
managed to get
working.
in there an inning, allowed 300 runs against us. But shout out to him, Oakland Ballers.
Yeah, shout out. You know what I'm saying? Moving up, doing his thing. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
what's up.
But anyway, uh, getting into the Mariners, obviously, scored a season high in runs on Friday, winning 12-8.
Yes, sir.
We had two 3-1 wins this since we last talked. Last Wednesday against the Braves, which was, one of the better games I think all season, just in terms of like winning a close game against a good team. Where you
Yeah.
don't have everything go right. You don't score all the runs. You don't score 12. You score 3, but you end up holding the line really well. On the
Holding the
pitching and
line.
defense, and then you end up just
Yeah.
like controlling the game all the way to win that series. Then the 3-1 result last night as well, which I haven't even done my post game yet for that one. I know I'm pretty late on that. I'm gonna get this out this afternoon for you guys, but you control the game on the pitching end, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then I mean, you just don't give the Astros chances, and I mean on the offensive end, you got Julio hitting that bomb, and I mean you just make things happen. The first inning, you score 2 other runs, uh,
Yeah.
and then you start the series off strong. Just with like maybe it's not like the most resounding like win ever. It's not like we just pounded these guys into the dirt, just like one run
Right.
after the next. But it's like
Yeah.
you're just winning the games.
Mm.
Like that's what I would call like clutch. That's like doing it when it matters
Definitely.
most.
Definitely
So
tapping into the clutch moments for sure.
the White Sox series over the weekend, pretty frustrating. You lose 2-1 on Sunday, which is like, I mean, it's a bummer, obviously, but it's like, what are you gonna do? You can't win them all, and I mean, you made a whole lot of great plays. Logan Gilbert having that excellent start, to win that.
Oh yeah.
Kind of look like you're gonna win that game early on, and then you just can't put it all together. I mean,
Yeah.
in the end, they just score a couple runs late and they take the win and they take the series. And the White Sox, a team where it feels worse because it's like they're not as good of a, they're not looked at as good of a team. But I mean, that was a pretty good ball game on Sunday. Anyway, did you get to watch any games in depth and have any thoughts? And also, did you
Yeah,
get
definitely.
did you go to the ballpark since we last talked as well?
Since we last talked, I don't know if we talked about it on pod, but I did go to a Giants game. Now I don't know if we talked about that or not. I can't remember. A lot has been going on. I did also go up to the park and not attend the game inside, but just walk around it because I wanted to be, by the cove. And I'm, which is I know I'm a weirdo. I'm trying to go and get a splash ball before it splashes. So I've kind of constructed this device. I'm trying to get them to see this like fishing pole catcher thing I created, bro. Because they always show it on TV. They show like the Cove and everybody out there, and I'm about to be out there, bro. So keep your eyes open if you guys even watch any Giants games. I'm gonna be out there trying to get a splash ball for sure. Um,
Hey, if you're out in the Bay, go check in with the boy Don. Um,
Yeah, for sure. But to roll into the games, yeah, I did get to check out the games, more so the highlights of most of them. But talking about Chicago's game, first game, yeah, tough, but seems like a game. 12-8 crazy runs, right? But let's not fall asleep to the fact that our pitching is strong, our bats stayed strong early, but then we did let them creep back, and that is, what I mean. I just want to kind of put a little more harshness on us. Not to be too harsh because we got the W. That's always great, but a takeaway to capitalize and to shut it out and to get out of there. Because a team like Chicago, a team like Houston, if you let them creep back, if you let a good bat come back, it will hurt you. And I think there was a crazy situation where we gave up like 3 runs, in one of those innings late when they were creeping back, man. I think it was a crazy like left center play that we didn't make, and just scored a lot of runs. A lot of runs came in. So toughness, man. We got to stay tough and resilient and close it out. Just get out of there, because we're not at a point where we're slamming it on them early with like, oh, we've scored 7 by the 5th, every time. We might have 3 or 1, but if we don't stay strong, it could be 4-3 very fast.
Absolutely. We got a whole lot more conversations. Mid May, this is one of the most interesting times to get into the conversations in baseball,
Mm.
right before the stats are all
Yes,
normalized and stuff.
sir.
But before we do that, we got to go and represent our namesake. We're the 1-0 podcast. We got to zoom in first. So, Don, what was your 1-0 play of the week?
Yeah, man. So I went with pitching for the play, so to say, and specifically the boy George Kirby, mainly because he's lights out. I would say underneath his name, if it was his name, and then what he does, lights out, because he's staying consistent. He's got the K's, and he's just got the nasty stuff. Dialing into his at bat against Dominic Smith, it's just that sweeper. Coming in, he sees it, comes back again. 3 pitches, you said again. and then the low sweeper away that just was like, what are you doing? But how do you not go for it? It's nasty stuff, and it obviously looks like something before it became nothing. So I got to go with George Kirby. I'm giving him his star. Man, if he can stay healthy, you know what I'm saying, and stay on point, and we rally behind him with those bats, he should be walking out with, seventh, eighth inning, we're up, and he feels good. He's not even tired, and we can get those W's.
Absolutely. And going off of that, it's like and I'll talk about this a whole lot more in my post game, for last night, which I'm going to do after this. But it's when I see George Kirby, he led with the sweeper. That was his most used pitch last night. And he got tons of strikeouts, right? He only goes 5 innings. There's 99 pitches, but with the 7 strikeouts. So he wasn't that efficient, right? A lot of people are like, oh, he's not as efficient. We expect George Kirby getting into the 7th and 8th inning. But I see it and I'm like, oh. But looking at that Atlanta game, and then looking at this Houston game, it's like this guy's doing what I actually wanted him to do. It's like sometimes the coach is like, no, do this. Trust me, I know you're getting the results right now, but do this. This is I want to see you be great, not just be good. Mm-hmm. And with George Kirby, the adjustment to be great is to push for the strikeouts more. We dance around it by saying, oh, don't just obsessively throw in the zone, be willing to walk guys more, and don't just try to be Greg Maddux, but it's like, even though you basically have that type of all-time, generational control. But when I see him going with the sweeper, this is a textbook example, this at bat, plate appearance 14 on Baseball Savant, if you guys want to look it up, George Kirby versus Dominic Smith. 3-pitch strikeout, throw that sweeper basically, middle to start the at bat out, and he has to foul it off because he's not ready for that, right? He's not going to be sitting on that when you've got the 2 98-mile-an-hour fastballs that he expects are coming first pitch. He's taking that first pitch all the way, and then the second pitch you expand his strike zone way more with the knuckle curve, just giving him a different breaking ball, different shapes, more shapes, more problems basically. And then
nice.
You get down with that sweeper, and then basically, you talk about sometimes with pitching, they talk about climbing the ladder up, right? It's like we're going with the breaking ball, and then we're going with the fastball. It's like this was basically climbing down the ladder for George Kirby.
Right.
He did it with a whole bunch of
fireman pole.
Yeah, he's sliding down the fireman pole.
Yeah, fast and free.
New 1-0 podcast reference. Sliding down the fireman pole.
Yeah, man.
That's good. That's what George Kirby did here against Dominic Smith, and he did it last night too. He led with the sweeper, which Statcast, by the way, was calling this pitch a slider up until recently. Shout out to you for kind of noticing that it was a sweeper, because it's like up until recently that Statcast has been saying it's a slider, but this thing is definitely a sweeper. Some pitching analyst, Nick Pollock, I know he was talking about this too. This slider that, this thing that Statcast calls a slider that, that's actually a sweeper is awesome. And be really what you want to do, right, with pitches. We talked about this earlier in the year a whole lot with Emerson Hancock, is you just want to be different with that pitch. It's not that, it has to be this fit the mold of higher velocity or, more movement vertically or horizontally. You just want it to be, this is a slider, but it's different than other sliders. This is a sweeper, but it's different than other sweepers. And when you can confuse Statcast, that is a great sign. So this pitch for George Kirby is this is a way that he can really become. This is why I picked him to win Cy Young, was because, yes, the sinker's inside to right-handed batters. When he gets comfortable with the 2 fastballs, the 4-seam, the sinker, and then the slider, which is actually a sweeper, that is, I think, when George Kirby's at his absolute best. I love, he's had a good splitter in the past. He's had, some of these other pitches that really work for him, the knuckle curve being another breaking ball. But when he gets comfortable and in his zone with, his bread and butter pitches, that stuff is, it's like when you take that toast right out of the toaster and you're buttering it, and the butter's just melting. That's what he's doing with the hitters.
Perfect. Yeah, man, definitely. The boy's a force. He's a force for sure.
Absolutely. So, shout out to George Kirby. Love what we're seeing right now. And if there was one thing that we could still ask for going forward, keep doing what you're doing, but just the sinker inside to right-handed batters as well, which I saw him doing a good amount. I think he actually struck out Jose Altuve on a sinker that was inside to him last night. But I would love to see more and more sinkers inside to right-handed batters. That makes the sweeper play even better off of it too. So I think that combo. However unlikely, a sinker slider guy can be the biggest, strikeout guy in the AL.
Tough.
That's just I think something where George Kirby's control has been unique and stuff, but that there you might be able to capture lightning in a bottle right here.
No doubt.
And moving on, my 1-0 play of the week. Got to go with Julio Rodriguez. We're going to talk about the reasons that the Mariners, the room for improvement. But with Julio Rodriguez, he is having his best start to a season that he's had. He's hitting in the 270s. He's got all sorts of homers. Hit his 7th one last night. But I'm going back to his 6th homer, which was on Wednesday against Martin Perez in that Braves game. And it was the one thing you'll remember, right, is, you're not going to remember what pitch type it was. You're not going to remember all that stuff, not even sometimes the game. But you'll remember he hits this thing, and then he just gives them the most muscular bodybuilding pose. He hits it. He just starts sauntering down the first base line, and he says, "Let's go. Let's go." He's doing all of that.
Yeah, man.
You saw that, right?
It. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, 100%.
He's doing like the
boy is on one.
Yeah,
he's feeling it, bro. He's feeling it.
That's what you want to see. And so beyond that, right, going into what actually happened there, Martin Perez is a pitcher who he starts out the season hot and gets away with it for a while. And he kind of was doing that against the Mariners too. I think he even ended up with I think that was what knocked him out of having a quality start, even though it was only, I believe, the 2nd run of the ball game. Might have been the 3rd, but yeah, that was basically the only reason Martin Perez got knocked out before the 6th inning, before finishing 6 innings. It was it was that, because other than that, he'd been pitching to a quality start. But Julio sees, it's not just that, it's that he sees the changeup, and it was a little bit of a, changeup down. And, for Julio to see that changeup, he's struggled so much in the past, seeing these breaking balls. It's always the fastball up. And last night, it was the fastball up right at the top of the zone, which he hammers into the Halliburton sign advertising in Houston. But it's like,
mode.
Yeah, with Julio, the fact that he's hitting these different pitches, he's not adjusting too much to one pitch. He's being able to, if you can take away your out pitches, right? One of the things that made Barry Bonds the best, obviously power and talent, stuff like that, but it's that he didn't have an out pitch. It's that he was so dialed in and locked in. Shout out to San Francisco.
Right.
It's he just didn't have the out pitch. You couldn't pitch him in, you couldn't pitch him down, you couldn't pitch him. Obviously up.
Found a way to get a hit.
So once you take away those weaknesses, and when Julio is taking away these weaknesses, he started the year off going opposite field a whole lot. The home runs weren't coming, but he was getting the base knocks, and almost every one was to the opposite field. He was hitting, consistently hitting the ball into right field for singles, and it's to see Julio, who's got these long, lanky arms, who it's harder for him to time his swing right. First of all, second of all, he's had so much trouble recognizing different pitches and stuff. To see him going the opposite way so much at the beginning of the season, that takes a whole lot of not just determination and rah, but it's that's dialed in. That's doing the little things. That's doing the unsexy things too, to make sure that you're, that your approach is correct. And he nailed down that approach so hard,
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
So I knew that, eventually, he's going to start pulling the ball. His first homer of the season against the Astros, back at home, in that 8-7 game on a Saturday, that was straightaway center field, kind of off the end of the bat, almost it was a little bit weird, almost oppo. This one against the Braves, he pulled it, he did, kind of get behind the ball, and he swung as if he was going to pull it, but it goes straight away center because his timing is so perfect, and then you see the results, the fruits of the labor are coming down the line too, because the swing is so right that then you come into, he hit one against the White Sox, right, in Chicago. He pulled the living daylight out of that one, and then
Yeah,
goes
that is.
goes to the inside in Houston, another human place,
Mm,
and he pulled. I mean, talk about pulling the ball. Like Julio
oh
just
yeah.
pulled that one. Literally picturesque, perfect. Uh, you know, left field, a little bit left center, like just.
Yeah,
Uh,
comfortable.
so the fact that Julio's seen all these different pitches, he's off to this hot start, and he's like, I've seen the opposite field hits to start the season, and then the homers are like naturally starting to come on different pitches.
Hmm.
Like I picked him to win MVP before the season, and at this
Yep.
rate, I know Aaron
Yep.
Judge has got like
He's
15
doing well.
homers already. Brent Rice has got like
Yeah, he's going
13.
crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
there's some
Yeah.
other players that could win, but
Homie in Chicago's got 15 too.
Munataka Murakami,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, Murakami. Yeah, Murakami. Crazy.
crazy. But when it comes to like my MVP pick, if my MVP pick looks this good at the plate right now, I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm gonna say if I had to
Yeah, for sure.
repick again today, like Julio Rodriguez, we know what he does in the summer months. Like I think that this guy's gonna be the best player in baseball in the second half, and I think he's gonna win the AL MVP. So
For sure. I wouldn't say you're far off. I also, to take it back for the kid, I mean, one, Julio's my boy. Second of all, coming off that WBC, coming off of the energy he had, making the hits that he did, like you said, there were base knocks, there were this and that, there were, gappers, there were here and there's, but they were hits. And he's been doing that. He's been stacking them up. He's been stacking them up, and now it's like an evolution to just coming into your batting. And a lot of people were crushing him, saying he's slumping, and if he's slumping at this point of his of the season, then he's destined to be terrible. And it's just like, honestly, bro, he's a young baller. You're gonna slump randomly, or you're gonna slump whenever you are. And I love seeing him just play his game. He seems, like I said, comfortable. That left center is his bread and butter. If we're going back to the home run derby, that's where all of his home runs landed. I was standing there, I watched him. That's his space. And so if he's locked in, he's dialed in, he's patient up there. Like you said, he's taking away that out pitch, because he could turn inside out even as a lanky guy. It's amazing what those quick hands do. And yeah, I think we're looking at the boy getting into his stride, and stay on that path. Yes, he's that kid, and he's got everything that you could ask for at the plate. So yeah, just want to see it continue and keep stacking up.
absolutely. Another fascinating thing you kind of just made me think of is like I look at like around the league, and Julio is, I mean, the easy comps are like five tool center fielders like Ronald Acuna and stuff. But he
Mm,
is one of these players where it's like he's super talented. He's like a unicorn athletically, right? You did like
mm,
one of one. You're not going to see another one of these for 10 or 20 years. But also, it's like it's almost like his talent is so hard to get the most out of. Like he's a very imperfect player and makes a lot of mistakes, right? There will be base running
oh,
mistakes.
of
There will
course.
be
Mm,
mistakes in the outfield, like that ground ball that went through his legs,
mm,
like that stuff happens, right? But it's also like you also get these insane plays with it, right? Robbing homers, hitting homers. And so
for sure.
it's almost right. The players who do that, right? It's like, well, O'Neill Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, right? Just insane
Mm,
physical specimens. Way tall for a baseball player,
oh yeah, for
and
sure.
ridiculously fast and athletic. But then like their
Right.
athleticism works against them, and other guys who grinded through the minor leagues, didn't have prospect pedigree, are like, I am just gonna be more skilled than you on this given day, right? You might have all the
Mm,
talent in the world athletically, but
mm, right.
I am going to make sure that I just do exactly what you're bad at, and when you take that away, right, you see the year that Ellie and Cruz are having, right, both of those players, and
Right.
you
Right.
see the year that Julio's having. I think uh, like that's the kind of realm you're talking about, and like those guys all have Hall of Fame talent.
For
Like,
sure.
is the funny thing.
Definitely. It is. And to expand on the build that you're speaking on, the unicorn, the tall, lanky guy, the Dela Cruz, the Julio, the Byron Buxton, that type of player has always been a baseball player. It's just a body type that has been honestly smoothed or switched over more so to basketball, from a lot of the African American builds, because that's where the athleticism is being kind of sculpted and captured. But a lanky ball player that dates back to Negro times. That dates back, to a lot of cats, man. Satchel Paige off the mound, looking like he could touch you from the mound. Like that lanky build. If you can stay healthy, that can just take you so many places. Like we're saying, on the base path, you're eating up more dust out there. You're tracking more. It's just a different type of player. It's a unicorn. You want it out there. I think the main thing is keeping it healthy.
That's a great point. I mean, people are going to see that, right? And they're going to say, "Oh, I want you to play my sport." And the more sports are out there, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
basketball, like you mentioned, right?
Oh
Especially
yeah.
when they're that height, like 6'7", 6'8", 6'6" even. But I mean, football, right? Football wants those big dudes now. They're getting
That's a fact.
guys that are six
That's a
five,
fact.
6'6", 6'7", 6'8". I mean, always. And that's a good point, right? This always has been, and that Satchel Paige callback, I mean, massive tip of the cap, because it's like, again, even a
Yeah,
lot of
man.
these guys, right? These crazy athletes, like they push them to pitcher, but it's like
Right.
uh, that's kind of a waste of the speed, and the power at
Mm,
the plate sometimes, right?
right.
And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, like it's going to be tough to develop a guy like this. Like Julio was signed by the
There it
Mariners
is.
when
It's
he
tough.
was 15.
See, and that's when you got to tap in, because of things like you're saying. To coach that type of talent is tough. Because a guy like that might have the speed and he's lanky, but he doesn't understand hand speed yet, or he doesn't understand bat speed yet, right? Or hand eye isn't tapped in yet. You're 15, right? So we got to figure this out. And if we can tap those things in, then you can understand that, oh, I am an outfielder. I can play third, or I can do that, right? Instead of, oh, I'm just naturally good at layups, or I'm already so tall I can just do this. Learning those other things. So it breaks all the way back down to when you're seeing who's got you, who's coaching you. Like we talked about, good coaches can make or break your lust for the game or your want to be involved and learn it and evolve it. So yeah, them unicorns, man, you gotta take care of them. You gotta take care of them.
I mean, you even look across the NBA and you see, okay, who's dominating the NBA? You got Victor Wembanyama. You've got, Karl
Oh
Anthony
man, yeah,
Towns. You've got
yeah.
like Luca. Luca obviously hurt. With the Lakers,
Luca,
couldn't
yeah,
play, and that's the
right.
reason that they just got swept, unfortunately. But it's like
Embiid, yeah,
Embiid, right? It's the and all the what's all those guys kind of have in common, right? Is that the bigs in today's NBA, right, are the ones that can also shoot the three ball and also do everything else and are the
yes,
unicorn.
yes.
It's like we don't want
Mm-hmm.
just the same, with all due respect, right? The Sim Bular, 7'3"
Yeah,
and 315, pounds. That is kind of getting phased out of
right.
the NBA. You don't got these
Yeah,
360
it was already
pound.
very rare too.
Yeah, and I mean to find a human being like that, right? That's literally one in a million, if not more. But it's
Hmm.
like now they want, okay, we're okay with you not being as big, right? We just want you to be crazy skilled in every single facet
Right.
and improve on
Yep.
those weaknesses, like we're talking about with Julio, right? And when you
Exactly.
do, baseball, they're realizing this as well. Is like when you do get the super lanky, super talented athlete, and you teach him to play baseball, it's going to take you, 10 to 20 times the investment that it is. To get a guy like Ty France, who was just an absolute baller through high school, college,
It's a fact.
stuff,
Yep.
stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Who's like
Right.
who's
Right.
like he is gonna reach that outcome quicker than a Julio
Hmm.
Rodriguez. But when you have Julio Rodriguez, right? Like once it gets to their mid 20s, right, to the 30s, right? It's like that's the
Right.
one who has
Exponential growth.
like that's the one who has the Hall of Fame potential, and that's like where teams are like, well, do we want to just be a playoff team, or do we want to contend for a title? Do we want to build
Mm.
something, where we can maybe not be a laughing stock, maybe be respectable, or do we want to actually take a big swing? Do we want to try to build something special? And
For
um,
sure.
it's also, you made a point about the slumps, which I think is a good transition into our real main topic today.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We got to spend some time on this because, like I said, mid-May, at this point, the stats are like beginning to finally normalize. You finally a
Hmm.
quarter of the way through the season,
Right.
and and now you can finally start to look at the stats and say, okay, this is a pretty big set of data. We're more than a quarter of the way through the season. Like we can start to respect this year's stats a little bit more, and not just as like, oh, this, it's just this much time. It's just this much time, which they're going to normalize further. There's players that are great right now that are not going to be great the whole year.
Right.
But with Cal Raleigh, second in the AL MVP race last year, has the second worst batting average in baseball at this point. He is over 36, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's right. 35 or 36.
It's 36. So he's over 36. And that includes, like, since coming off like that little injury thing he had, where on Randy Johnson's number of time, and he gets pulled from the lineup, and then he comes back. He doesn't have a hit since then. And people are quick to say, right, he was even moved down to the batting order to, he was hitting fourth. So it's like, people are starting to kind of believe, like, okay, like Cal Raleigh's not as good as, we thought he was. He's not as good as who he was last year. And to me, right, I see this and I'm like, okay, it's undeniable that he has a 159 batting average or whatever, right? Like, that's a fact. But it's also like, I see this and I'm like, man, all the same people who are like at the ballpark saying, man, we love you, Big Dumper. We love you for who you are. We love, you're just a special human. It's like this just proves the reality of this sport that, like, yeah, you can say you love Cal Raleigh and you love him as a human being. I remember FanFest, right? Everybody, looks at him as a hero and everything. And it's, let alone even before the MVP, being anywhere near an MVP race, the clinch home run and stuff, right? And it's like, as soon as you have a bad month, right, these same people that were buying your jersey, that you looked up to you, are saying, man, we got to move you down in the batting order. We might have to, put you on, like on the radio. I know I heard Ian Furness, shout out to him, but he was talking about, you might have to protect the player from himself, put him on the IL, like the IL and stuff. And it's like,
wow,
like maybe he's not actually injured, right? Maybe this is just a slump, but it's like, you can't say like, obviously it's like, these people really love you, because you hit home runs. These people really love you because you're a good baseball player, and they do it to Julio too, right? They do it to Josh Naylor at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
and right now Luis Castillo, everybody loves the Rock, Luis Castillo, La Piedra, and now it's it's unacceptable, and we gotta. Logan Gilbert had a couple bad starts before having an awesome one on Sunday, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know," it's when I say not everybody, but you know what I mean.
I hear you.
What do you see from the discourse, and how does it make you feel? All this stuff around Cal Raleigh.
Man, it's a wild world, right? And I believe that it really does transcribe through any sport that you watch, through anybody that gets wealth or fame and that get put on pedestals and people love them. There's always, right when you catch a case, you catch a bad luck, you can't hit the ball for a while, you go broke, bankrupt, all of a sudden you're a bad business person, you suck at the game, right? We got to trade you. They always are going to jump that ship, man. There's that quote, I had to relook it up. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I think that happens. You don't even have to live that long. You can play the game long enough to be a hero, or long enough that you'll see that you can be the villain. And it's tough, man. Fandom is such a tough thing. It's such a fickle beast. Fans turn on you in a blink of an eye. It's like that. Sports and music. You make one song, everybody loves it. You make another song, everybody hates it. And all of a sudden, your whole catalog is debris. That's unbelievable. So I try not to let my head go there. I try to tell other people, man, just pray on it, or go meditate for a moment, because remember what this guy's done. This guy has done amazing things, and he can. Going 0 for 35, it hurts to hear, but I've seen there's guys go 0 for 54, then come out of that slump, get a double and hit great for the rest of the season. Now I'm referencing something, but I don't have the name for it, and I hate myself for that. But there's players and there's things that you can see along the line where guys hit slumps, streaks, injuries, or hero stardom. It's all a package. So you just can't bail on somebody. And I don't think we could ever bail on Dumper having such a year he did last year and the years he had before then to get to where he is now. I just don't. I don't see you as, like you said, a real fan. Why are you even at Fan Fest? Then leave, because that makes no sense for your boy to go slumpy like that, and you not be the first person to be like, "You're coming out that slump, my boy. We see you," because like my cousin Harold Reynolds said, one tweak away from dominating you again is all that I am. And it's just like how they say, "Oh, later in the season, guys will be better. Or early they have to slump and they'll be back or they'll be better." Man, it could change at any moment. So to jump the ship is atrocious, and I hope those people never buy tickets again. But for everybody else, stay strong, lock in. It's still your boy until we know further, or until he confirms an injury, or until we really see that his game has diminished to a dismal. Yeah, I'm talking about he can't even show up at the plate. Then you could jump the ship, man. So I know I got a little long-winded on that, but yeah, let's not jump out on the kid. He's a great ball player. You were just bowing at his feet. How dare you throw him off the team?
100%. Now, I like, there's a whole lot of things, to get into here. We talk about the discourse a little bit. We're going to get into the actual, actually what's going on with Cal Raleigh from a baseball standpoint. Because all the discourse really is just, mumbo jumbo. Cal Raleigh is worried about hitting the baseball, and that's it, right? And he's going to, anyway, it's funny because I put the background for the podcast today as Cal Raleigh hitting the clinch homer in 2022. Behind, what are they holding up? They're holding up one of those yellow signs from 2021. And what does it say on that sign? It says believe. Now, to believe, right? I would say, like, if you're believing in something you can see, right? Believing that Julio Rodriguez is good because he's already good. It's like, I wouldn't even call that belief. I'd just call that like an observation. Like, I mean, and your like belief really is not that strong. Like, if you can only believe in what you see, right? You're only as good as your last game. Like, if a team believes they're good because they won it, because like they won a game, that's gonna fade because you're gonna lose another game. Now, if you believe you're good because you know how hard you worked in spring training and you know how like you know that the values and the like the way that you're doing, their process is correct. That's like we believe in something because we actually believe that we know how to do this better than just any old person, who could get lucky. If you believe that, like if you, I mean, that's what belief is. Belief is not, oh, we believe in this because because we think, because we think we see it right now. Belief is more like we just think this is correct. We think this is the right way to do it. And I simply think it's the right way to do it. I mean, Mariners fan or not, to say, okay, well, this guy hit 60 homers last year. You look at this guy's approach, from both sides of the plate, taking 12 pitch at-bats against Jacob deGrom, even this year, right? It's like, and finishing off with a homer. It's like, I believe that is the right way to do it. And that I actually don't care that much about the 159 batting average. Like, that's not going to convince me that this MVP candidate is now not as good as he was, because it's like that's not him. And I know now in mid-May, okay, it's we're starting to get to the point where the stats mean something. But Harold Reynolds, like you said, went on MLB Network today, and I think this is great, right? He does one of his little breakdown segments, and he looks at why Cal Raleigh is in this slump right now. And he says, well, actually, right, I don't see, this isn't a huge thing. I see something here, but this is a really small tweak, and it's not that anything is actually broken in his swing. Which, when I've been watching it, I've been looking really closely. I've been like, okay, the hip was injured, right? What's going on with the hip? Where there's got to be something in the hip, right? I'm trying to confirm my biases. Yeah, trying to investigate the likeliest possibilities for what is going on with Cal Raleigh's swing. And the swing doesn't actually look like it's broken. Like, it actually looks pretty good. And that's what Harold Reynolds says. It's not anything specific with the swing. It's that the timing is off. He's just a little bit late on everything. And Harold Reynolds, excellent breakdown. I'm sure. Go look it up on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever you want to do, on Instagram, whatever. But he shows that Cal Raleigh, he has this little like this little step, like this little, not a leg kick, but
Right.
he lifts his leg. He has a little leg lift
A little
as
timing lift. Yeah.
as he gets into, from both sides of the plate, as he gets
Hmm.
into his swing and as the pitcher starts his motion. Now, by the time the ball is like getting near him, getting close to him and it's about to break, like the ball is getting into its break, at that point, he's getting that foot down already. Like that's where
Right.
he's getting the foot down and he's swinging. But right now, he's starting his leg lift like when the pitcher's already basically throwing the ball. And
Right.
this is all bang bang stuff, right? I mean, if you've ever watched a baseball
Yes,
game, you
for
know
sure.
that as soon as the
Yeah.
pitcher, right, like winds up, right, as soon as he unwinds, whoosh, that pitch is gone, and then that pitch is going 100 miles an hour to the plate, and then that thing is in the glove of the catcher before you know it, right? This stuff all
For
happens
sure.
so quickly, so the timing, just being a little bit off, and it has looked like if you watch Cal Raleigh, it's like how many times have you watched him this season? And the swing looks great. It looks like it's going like a home run swing, and he's swinging in
Right.
the right spot too. Like he's seeing the pitches well too. It's actually not a problem seeing the pitches at all. It's like he's like because when he swings, it keeps being like the exact perfect spot, just a little bit late,
Mm.
or maybe even sometimes a little bit early. He's overcompensating or something. But it,
Right.
I think it really is that darn leg lift, like, and the timing, like when you and now going back and watching, it's like there isn't really something wrong with his hip or his. There isn't some big mechanical problem. This machine is not broken. Like this machine isn't
Right.
even malfunctioning. This machine's just
Yeah.
running a little bit slow, and it's not as effective.
For sure. Just a processing thing, if we're relating to machines. So I get it. And if it was broken, I don't think he'd be playing catcher. I don't think he'd be bending and crouching for 9 innings if the center mass was broken, right? You just can't. It wouldn't make sense. So yeah, I just think he's got to keep playing his game. This is Cal Raleigh right now, and some people just need to calm down. It's right now. It and if it becomes him forever, then obviously adjustments will be made. But somebody being a little off right now, a little here and there right now, versus them doing what they've done before. I just think there's such a high caliber to lay it against, that you just can't sell it out yet. It hurts to see. Of course, you don't want a big boomer like Cal, to be 159. You don't want to see him struggle. You don't want to see any of our guys struggle. Those are our guys. But guys are going to struggle. Somebody's got to have a great day, and unfortunately, somebody's going to have a pretty miserable day, compared to that great day. So taking that data in and learning and advancing, like we say, that's what it is, man. This guy's gonna figure it out. If cats like big boy Harold can say that he's an inch or two off and it's gonna click, then the guys with the good eyes know. Those are guys super high caliber, been played the game many a moon. So I'm gonna rely on them. I'm gonna stick with them, not the guy who buys a ticket all the time and just thinks that he can yell now because this guy's not showing up. But then he wants the picture though. And he definitely gets love when the picture comes in. But the at bat doesn't get the same love, man. Give the kid time.
Absolutely, and I mean it is a little bit disheartening. I'm not here to say oh I want to tell every Mariners fan that they don't get to feel this way or but I'm here to
No,
we're here to suggest an alternative way of thinking. Like
that's a
let's go
fact.
1-0, right? This is the
Yeah,
1-0 mindset. This is the
that's a
mindset of
fact.
how I mean that don't take it from us. Not saying oh you need to uh, do this because other people will be successful doing other thinking about it other ways and stuff. But
100%.
I mean, when you go with this framework, right? It is the growth mindset. It's similar to a growth mindset. It's just like, and it's also going okay, right? 1-0 doesn't mean oh man, Cal Raleigh is over 36. Well, there's no more 1-0, right? He hasn't gone 1-0 in 36 at bats. Therefore, like so you can turn this stuff around really easily. But the 1-0, right?
Right, right.
It means how do we actually like if we're to look at Cal Raleigh, right? How do we have a productive conversation? How do we have the most because what's not a productive conversation is oh, Cal moved down the lineup. Maybe Cal's not that good anymore. Maybe Cal's never going to move back up in the lineup. Maybe Cal is just not as good as he was. Like that stuff really doesn't help you all that much. And I mean, it wasn't even,
Never will.
it was just barely 2 weeks ago, April 28th, right? Cal Raleigh had hit 5 homers in 7 games. The timing was right, was on there, just for a little bit, and he's hit 5 homers in 7 games at that point. So it's like, just to look at an over 36 slump, which, I mean, for a guy who was literally 3 votes away from winning the MVP, and then to say, oh, well, this isn't going well, and I'm upset, so we're gonna, I mean, let's go ahead and scapegoat this. It's like, I mean, they did the same thing to Aaron Judge too. Like back in the playoffs against the Dodgers, right? He had that poor playoff run where they had Juan Soto and the other guys carrying him, just absolutely slumping. Yeah. And they were saying, "Oh man, Aaron Judge really is a fraud. He's not as good as he says. He can't, do this." And I mean, he's underperforming in the big moment.
Right.
And then they write off everything good, So to have a holistic evaluation, and that's why the name of the episode today is, to go 1-0, let's learn the right lesson from Cal's slump. Like, let's not learn the lesson that, oh, maybe this guy just isn't that good anymore. Because that's a really, like, tell me what mechanical, right? Tell me what mechanically was wrong. If you propose something, it doesn't have to be a better explanation than Harold Reynolds that I agree more with, or Don agrees more with, or anything like that.
Yeah, not at
but
all.
give a substantive alternative.
Give me something, yeah.
Give me something. Give me what's broken with Cal, right? Don't say,
please.
I mean, yeah, give me something actionable with Cal. I mean, which is why I appreciate, like, on the radio, Ian Furness on KJR saying maybe he is injured. Maybe you need to, like, protect him from himself, put him right, because at least you're making a hypothesis of, like, that is at least a hypothesis that it's like, I'm looking for something that actually would be a reasonable explanation.
For sure.
Or it's just so unreasonable to think that, right, this guy is not good at baseball anymore, or this,
anymore, bro. Not good anymore. That's just mind-boggling. Because even moving down in the lineup, brother, like, that doesn't mean you're not good. Some cats, I can't give you a name, which I hate, because I'm just a player. I just talk off the field. But I've seen players be 3, 5, 9, and even if you bat last, doesn't mean you're the worst. That makes no sense, because some cats bat low to energize the top of the lineup, right? Because you don't want everybody sloughing like it's at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? We're not playing softball. Like, this is a strategy. So it pains me, right? And like you said, I'm not trying to convince anybody they can't feel. They can't say, oh, that's a bad at bat. Feel your way, do your thing, shine your light. But I just want to throw out, like we said, that extra way of thinking, like, man, don't go straight to the doom. Don't go straight to the worst case scenario. And yeah, give it some more time, man. This guy's not good anymore. Like, that makes me so upset.
Yeah.
What?
I'm kind of boiling that one down, but people, suggest something along the lines of...
But that's kind of how it boils,
Yeah, so, well, when you suggest something along the lines of, this is something that's just going to continue, or this is something that
right
is like there is no, way out, or like this is just who he is now. It's like, okay, like, and we've looked at now, okay, we've talked about the discourse around it and how people are seeing, the perception. We've talked about the actual mechanical, things going on, or lack thereof, and we've also talked about the kind of the reaction to the the actual analysis of the baseball, and so when we kind of to summarize all this, to land the plane, to dock the ship, to set our anchor down here, what is the right lesson that we should be learning from this whole 2-week saga of 2-week or 6-week saga of Cal Raleigh?
Man,
it's a little
tough.
bit rhetorical.
It's a little bit, but it's tough for me to tell anybody what that is. But yeah, to land the plane, in my eyes, what you take away from something occurring is you get a bunch of data and you get to assess it, right? Like you pulled Harold Reynolds, he's assessed it. You've assessed it. The timing, what looks different, what's not wrong, right? He's not harmed. We don't think the body seems to be intact. He's still playing catcher. Like bringing all that, then take all of that, and maybe then you can make the assessment that personally, Cal's just got a timing thing. Coming back into his game, getting right, getting your timing right. Other guys, their timing is clicking in right now. Their timing might fall off. For me, I think it boils down to a timing situation. And you got to give a guy time to lock in. A small adjustment could happen in tonight's game or tomorrow's game that could last you or, could become another issue. So, yeah, for me, I'm not going to tell anyone how to think, of course. But, yeah, I think it's just you're grabbing a bunch of data and you're saying, hey, this guy's been played heavily against. They got a lot of data against this guy. They're pitching lights out against this guy because they're not going to allow him any room to breathe. So I mean, he's been overcoming a lot of adversity. So I think he's just got to figure this timing down. He's got to get comfortable again, and it'll be the same thing he knows how to do.
Absolutely. Something that comes up for me is, I think we talked about last week where I mentioned like Cal Raleigh is one of the most pitched around hitters in the MLB. Like
Right.
every time he comes up, okay, we're doing a mound visit, we're bringing a new guy in. We are sticking to like we're gonna game plan the daylight out of Cal Raleigh. We're not gonna
Right.
we're not gonna go out there and let our guys pitch. Let him pitch, right? Let him just get into the groove. Like he is one of the most game planned around players this whole season in the MLB. And then you
Right.
combine that with like I did hear, people talking about, like I've heard some people, people have all different perspectives, which I appreciate. And somebody was like, yeah, I think the WBC was just not good for him. I think that was just something that, threw him off. And it's like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But, bringing all that together, it's like, I think that with these star players and like in the WBC, you would see this a lot. Like the way that baseball is evolving in 2026, like there's a lot more pitching changes. They're a lot less worried about like, oh, we want our best pitcher to face the best hitter, but it's all about like matchups and super specific granular analytics details, kind of the minutia of the situation. And I think Cal Raleigh is a guy who they saw do what he did. They saw some super obvious strengths, and there are also some super obvious weaknesses. Swing and miss, like kind of a willingness to do that, to make that trade off and sacrifice to do what he does. And I mean, he's been taking these long at bats. He's been battling. I mean, he's gotten into some real battles, even during the
Right.
slump. Like he has some long at bats. But I think you see in the WBC, like wow, like some of these players are just getting game planned around heavily. And that was part of Venezuela winning. Part of Italy making it to the semifinals is that they're just being super conservative. They're not worried about their star players getting the big moment. They're just like, we're just going to game plan and we're going to go with what the analytics say. And
Yeah, the best for them.
and then you look at like Cal Raleigh is like that's what's been done to him this MLB season is he's being pitched around. He is being
Right.
I don't know if there is a stat for this. If you have any idea and you let me know down in the comments below, I will give you a shout out on the next pod. If there's a stat to see who has been pitched around the most in the MLB, because I would bet you that Cal Raleigh is right up there at the top of that list. Like they're not giving him almost anything to hit. Like he had to the pitches he's hit for homers this year. It's like a 12th pitch fastball from Jacob deGrom, like some terrible pitches and stuff. So
Yeah, he's fighting for his. He's fighting for his, man. He's fighting heavily for his.
I think maybe
Tough.
maybe the lesson here is that when you have a great player, I mean, the art of war is going to come back around, and they're just going to attack every
man.
weakness. Like you're not going to get rookie mode. You're not going to get easy mode. You're going to
No,
get
definitely not.
like you're just going to get the heart. Like the better you are, iron sharpens iron. Like the better the opponents are going to be. They're all going to rise to their occasion and play their best game against you. And
Right. Yeah, man.
that I think that might be the real lesson here is that in 2026, stars in baseball are going to be, I mean, platooned. If you're a pitcher, you're going to get platooned to death. They're going to just, okay, oh, you're a good righty. Here comes 7 lefties in the lineup against you. Oh, you're a good lefty. Here comes 7 righties in the lineup against you. You're bringing in, this pitcher. Well, we're not worried about our best players playing against him. We're just worried about the ones who are, the best matchup for us.
Right.
And I mean, it's not just Dan Wilson. Like, teams around the league play the matchups more than ever before.
For sure.
Like, so this is, I think that, traditional bullpen roles have kind of, being phased out to some degree, in favor of lefty righty matchup approaches, and because that's what the analytics suggest is correct. And so,
right.
The lesson that I've learned from this whole thing with Cal Raleigh is that, the better you are, the target, you get that target on your back, right? You become somebody everybody loves, right? These guys who are, quote unquote, the villains, right? Like, they want nothing more than to just have that little moment where it's like, we might take down Batman, right? We might just be able to take down Batman.
For real. It's tough. It's tough out here, man. But you learn and you see, like, in time, things will tell, though. So, if this happens and, knock on wood, he's going to do his thing. But if a player was to slump like this, slump out the whole season, next season come around, they're still slumpy, bro. They're still tragically terrible. Then you could start saying, oh, maybe this is how this guy's game is going. But that's such a long runway. You know what I mean? You gotta let things run. And the time will tell, man. We're gonna see. And I personally don't be surprised if we don't see the same guys who are trying to steamroll our boy just, right back in the picture. We'll see how it runs,
But the big thing I'm going to be watching for with Cal Raleigh is how not just how he approaches it. I mean, obviously his timing, and where is his timing at?
Right.
But
Definitely.
That's with him. But on the opponent side, I'm going to be watching for how much they game plan against him, because that's what it feels like right now. Is every time Cal Raleigh comes up, especially runners on base for a big moment, mound visit, game plan, nothing to hit.
Nothing.
We'll go 12
pitches.
Move,
outfield shifting. Come on. That if you don't do that, then what are you doing? Because we have so much tech and you have so much data on this guy, and he's beat so many other teams years previous in those situations, right, where they take a chance on him and he just takes you yards. So now, there is no chance on that. There is no sweet spot pitches. There's no fruit. It's all tough. It's all just ridiculousness. It's all strat against him. You might as well send him to first, like Barry. You might as well send him to first. But they find a way, which is impressive. They're finding a way to keep him at the bat and pitch to this guy and take his bat away. And that you have to give some love to these teams. If we're not, then we're disrespectful. You have to give love to these teams for planning against this guy, plotting against this guy, and making sure that this Mariner team won't beat us with the bat that we know will beat us. It will have to be somebody else. It will have to be somebody who's coming into their game and shining and inside outing or getting that hit or getting that blooper or, Donnie be good, putting wood on a ball and beating you out to first. It's going to be something. It's not going to be Cal victorious with this big club like he used to. Those days, we might take a while to see him again, but congrats to the teams. Congrats to the MLB. It's competitive ball. I'm not mad at that. I'm just excited for when Cal makes that one tweak to where all that's shattered and you have to go figure it out again. That's going to be amazing because he's going to do it. And then you're going to have to reboot. So,
I mean, shoot, it could be right. It could be in an hour here. They take batting practice.
I'm saying,
and he just feels like his step is correct. And then he comes out and hammers. Boom. I mean, he could hammer 2 bombs in Houston tonight. And everybody who said, man, Cal Raleigh got to move down in the order, all this stuff.
Yeah,
right?
What now?
Oh, we love you, Big Dumper.
Of course. There you are, Big Dumper. There he is.
You could do it.
Yeah, he never left, bro. He's still there. There he is. What, he turned into a ghost? He's still there. And he's just got to, shine.
I can't believe I've made it this far without actually mentioning, people love to post these baseball savant Like, the little things with the red and the blue. People love to
Oh
post that
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
all
yeah.
over the place these days
Right.
with no context, right? and just say, oh, red good, blue bad. But it's like,
Uh,
with Cal Raleigh, right? The part that they don't post that is the defense, where Cal Raleigh is actually still in the 92nd percentile in fielding run value
let's
this
go.
year as a catcher, which is super valuable, which was part of his reasoning for
Right.
beating Judge for the MVP last year.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, I mean, we might talk about, right, things are broken, at the plate with Cal Raleigh. Well, behind the plate, everything is just fine. Like, this guy is
Yeah,
still,
the leather's still strong.
he still has this baseball IQ. Clearly, I do think it's as simple as a tiny timing adjustment, and we're going to see Cal Raleigh take off. And I do think Cal Raleigh is going to take off. He's going to power this team. And if I was to tell you before the season, yeah, man, the Mariners are going to be awesome. Like, there's going to be all sorts of stuff going on. Like, Cole Young is going to be a borderline all-star. The one thing is that Cal Raleigh is going to have a little bit of a slow start. I would say, like, oh, yeah. I mean, I know Cal Raleigh's going to be good. He was almost the MVP. I don't care if Cal Raleigh has a slow start.
Exactly. Yeah, he'll find his way. Yeah, I
So,
agree, and that's how you gotta look at it, man. Yeah, I like that.
yeah. So, remember, as long as you go 1-0 every pitch, stay stoic, give all glory to God. You can't lose. Anything around the league? Anything more we want to talk about this week? I know there's a whole lot of prospect call-ups. Some
Yeah.
other stuff going on, but I think we could kind of save some of that for next week, unless
Yeah, we could save it. We could.
you have anything you want to mention.
No, not really. No. Just excited to see Cal turn it around, man. And like to reiterate, we're getting into that space where the data makes sense. So we just want to tap into that flow state, baby. We just want to start stacking W's. That's all it's about.
Absolutely. We will see you guys next week, same old time, Tuesdays. Got a whole lot of things, we're planning to keep improving on with the 1-0 pod. Appreciate all the support recently and so far. And have all the game recaps out for you this week, and as well as the pre-games. Don, do you have anything going on this next week?
No, I don't actually, unfortunately. I'm pretty open. Different little music things, but nothing baseball. I'm sad. I gotta get back into my baseball bag, man.
Hey,
Uh,
I know you got a Mariners song coming out in 2026. When are we getting that joint?
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So I mean we could drop the name Mariner Magic. That's the title of the joint. That'll be I mean, I'm talking maybe mid-May. I mean, it just needs a few more tweaks, and then that'll drop with a few other songs. I'm gonna drop it with some music that's not centered for Mariners. It's just gonna drop as music. But yeah, got Mariner vibes, of course. That one and another one, Too Blessed to Be Stressed. Can't wait to drop that one too. So yeah, man. I'd say mid-May. Look for those as we push into the serious part of the season.
Hey, hopefully Mariners go 7-0 from this time from today till next Tuesday, right? And then if that happens, right, then we'd be on an 8-game winning streak. If that
That'd be
happens,
crazy.
next pod is just going to be titled "Too Blessed to Be Stressed."
Okay, for sure. Yeah, if we pull that off, yeah, definitely.
Any big predictions about players of the week? From now.
I mean, I'm gonna roll back into my boy Donnie. Donnie be good, man. I'm gonna say he'll get back into his thing because even watching him as of recent coming back, it's still bat to ball. I mean, this guy's just a hitter, man. You have to make a play against him. He's beating you out to first too. If you don't get it over there, he's getting it first. So I'm gonna go with Brandon Donovan, man. Shout out to the kid. I think he's gonna get back on his game.
I like that. I feel like based on what I said today, right? I got to take the most obvious pick. I'm not going to take it too fun of one today, right? I'm not going to
Yeah,
wish
yeah.
cast it. I'm just going to say
Mhm.
Julio, based on the way he looks
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, man.
This guy could go on an absolute tear, right? He already kind of is, and
He is.
like if I have to pick a player, that I think is absolutely locked in, that's going to ball out this next week. Like I think Julio could be the best player in the MLB this week. I think there's a very realistic chance of that.
No doubt. I'm too biased. He's the best player in the MLB every day for me. So I can't. But yeah, no, that's a strong pick, man. The kid is shining bright. He's striding, he's getting into his game. His defense is still lights out. You're human. Things are gonna happen out there, but he's still got the cat like reflexes. He's just making plays. Can't say enough about the kid, man. Keep doing your thing.
Absolutely. That covers it. We got first pitch at 6 or 5:10 p.m. I'm out here in the Rocky Mountains, the Central Time Zone, so a little bit different
Hey,
out
gotta
here for
adjust.
me.
Gotta adjust.
Yeah, but yeah, Mariners tonight can be a good one. Lineup should be out in about an hour or so, and we will see you guys next Tuesday with the 12th edition of the 1-0 podcast. Thank you all for listening, and as always, go M's.